Today we're talking about overcoming negativity, and the prompt kind of gave us an idea around, obviously we don't want toxic positivity, um, but that it's important to kind of reshape our brains around things, because when we struggle with negativity, the thing to remember is state determines story. So the state of our nervous system determines the story. So if we're overthinking or we're focusing on the negative, we have to recognize that our brains are not practicing for solutions. It's actually practicing problems. And so what I want to do today is to work with us through this initial part to um, use visualization and past experiences to create a state in our bodies. So think of something that you're kind of struggling with, some kind of negative aspect that you just can't seem to get around. And then what we're going to do is actually find something else that we want to feel. And when I say that, it's like, for example, if I wasn't feeling confident, but I want to reach my goals, or maybe I don't feel safe or calm and I want to feel safe. What we're going to do is remember a time when you did feel safe. Remember a time when you did feel confident. And then begin to move through that. So that's kind of, I just wanted to give you that little bit, because a lot of times negativity comes from this inner critic. And this exercise that we're going to do right now actually helps us to quiet that inner critic down. So I'm going to lead you through a little bit of it, but a lot of it's going to be in your own experience. And so there will be some quiet time, but I'm going to just play some soft music for us while we do this. So go ahead. If you haven't already, mute yourself, please, and then turn off your camera if you feel like it. And I will begin to play some music and guide us through. So let's see if there. Hopefully that's a good level for you. So begin by asking yourself, how do I want to feel today? Instead of this negative thing that I'm kind of worrying about or ruminating over, what do I want to feel instead? And now, once you have that thought of what you want to feel instead, remember a time that you did. Think about a time when you felt calm, or you felt excited about something, or safe. And now locate that. Once you really remember that and put yourself there, where do you feel that in your body? So first, we're going to find it in the body. And then from there, expand it into your imagination. And maybe you go back to the exact space that you were in when you were originally feeling it, but like safety. Where else do you feel safe? Maybe it's out in nature. You can take that feeling in your body and you can begin to bring it to a different place, where you can superimpose yourself into your place where you are right now that maybe doesn't feel as safe. And if you start to lose the feeling of safety because you're visualizing yourself in your place, come back, because this is retraining our brain to relating to these experiences every day. And your brain is going to begin to have experiences to learn from. And that's the language of our subconscious mind. Our subconscious mind is 95% of our brain function. And it really learns from experience. So if you're in a situation where you're thinking negatively, your emotions, your stress, your beliefs, your habits, your ways of moving through the world don't feel aligned with what it is that you want to feel, give yourself this space. It's not just about saying I'm worthy or I deserve success or I am safe. It's about that feeling. So for the next couple of minutes, think into the feeling of what it is that you want, because you've got a memory of it, or you can imagine a future situation where you are. And our subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between imagination and our physical reality. And if we can convince our subconscious mind that our imagination is the real thing, which it doesn't know the difference, we can find ourselves in a different state of peace or safety or happiness. But spend the next couple of minutes really feeling that in your body. Maybe noticing even if there's a color inside or a shape where it's located, because that will help you come back to it as well and become a stronger experience in the soma of your body. So I'm going to be quiet now for a couple more minutes. You might find yourself putting your hands on your body where you feel that feeling you want to feel. To really sink it in. Your eyes aren't closed. I encourage that as well. Whether you realize it or not, right now your brain is changing. It has no choice but to change because you are experiencing that change in your mind. And that affects your external reality. So if you haven't put your hands on your body where you feel that feeling, go ahead and do so now. And mine's in my upper chest right here, so that's where my hands are landing. But wherever it is for you, touch into that. And I want you to imagine that you literally have a tube that goes to that space when you breathe in. And so when you inhale, your breath goes right to that space and expands it. Just and allow the exhale to be a little bit audible if you can, because that actually moves that energy. Our bodies hold energy, and a lot of times things get stuck. But when we're touching into the feeling that we want and that space that we want, where we feel that emotion, by breathing into it, we actually expand that further beyond whatever boundary it's holding. And it allows that feeling to seep into more and more of our body. So before we come out of this, let's take about 3 more deep breaths at your own pace. Just visualizing or even feeling that breath expand that area. And then just notice that other parts of your body's relaxing as you exhale. And allow your hands to drop down. And allow yourself to touch into the top of your head, kind of as if you were wearing a small hat on the back top of your head, that just a gentle weight there. And almost as if there's a waterfall coming down the back of your head, down your spine, onto your seat. Allow that energy just to flow. And finally, if you don't already, allow yourself to have a small smile on your face. When you're ready, I invite you to come on back and join us in the group.